virtual room and tag a friend, a biz bestie, or your entrepreneur entourage. I am bringing you the sunshine today. It's your girl, Coach Katrina, your boss chick biz coach, and your fearless leader, back for another episode of your daily dose of vitamin D3. We are officially in spring, y'all. Okay, ladies, I am officially bringing you the sunshine, your supplement, your vitamin D3, okay, in springtime. I'm bringing it with me, okay? All the way from SoCal. So let me know as you come in here where it is you're tuning from, and if you're catching this live or on the replay. If you're here live, drop some fire emoji. Matter of fact, drop a sunshine emoji in the chat, okay? A sunshine emoji. If you're watching this on the replay, you can do the same, or you can drop a money back, because we're talking money, honey, today. We are talking money, honey, okay? If y'all haven't read this book, we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you some information on this and why I brought this to your attention. But if you are ready to say deuces to your 9 to 5, like if you've been dreaming of going to your boss, to your employer, just in general to corporate America, if you are just over the corporate grind, don't want to go back to that traditional 9 to 5 job, this video is for you. I specifically have you in mind today. It is actually the last week. Man, it's the last week of a few things. It's the last week in March. That means we are going into Q2, closing out Q1. That's first. Second, it is the last week for Women's History Month. Okay, so the month of March represents Women's History Month. So we're going out with the big bang today. We want to close this out strong and powerful. Okay, so I'm going to give you some great information. And third, I have some announcements I want to make really quickly for you before we really get into, I'm going to say, the heart and soul of, because every time I say meat and potatoes, it sounds so funny to me because I'm a vegan. I don't even eat meat and I stay away from the starches. Okay, so I'm going to say the heart and soul of this live stream. Before we really get into it, I want to share with you a couple of resources. One, I already brought that to your attention, and that's this book, okay? I'm going to be referencing this book just a little bit, not the whole way, but if you haven't gotten this book by the Budgetnista, this is my girl, okay? Shout out to Tiffany Elise, the Budgetnista. If you don't know anything about this book and you want to get good with money, definitely cop this right here, okay? This gets you all the way together when it comes to making some real money moves, and especially learning how to budget, which is what we're going to talk about today. Now, I also want to say that all of the content that I do here has to do, as you probably know if you've been following me, and if you're new and you're just now getting to know me, and this is your first time tuning into me live, then you may not know. So welcome or welcome back, okay, again, to another daily episode, or another episode of a daily dose of vitamin D3. So here's the thing. I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator. So I teach women in corporate America, those who are established and successful in their corporate careers, how to seamlessly transition out of their cushy corporate career, okay? They want to get out of their traditional 9 to 5 jobs. I particularly work with women over 40, women of color, and women of the LGBTQ plus community. That's my specialty area. I teach you, seasoned entrepreneurs as well, or newbies, how to not only transition from a job that no longer serves you, but also I teach you how to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without sacrificing your soul and sanity or compromising your health and happiness, okay? So I'm specifically talking to you. Now, this is about women collectively. Those are the individuals that I help. I exclusively cater to women, even though I have some guys following me and that are a part of my audience. Some of the information I share with you may be applicable to you, and I am cool with you following me, taking away the information that applies to any part of your life and business. Or if you happen to know any women that actually fits my ideal client avatar, then make sure you all share these videos out, okay? Because this is who my audience is and who I actually support. So today, I don't only want to talk about women as a whole, okay? Although collectively I serve women over 40 of all walks of life, any background, ethnicities, women of color, whatever. Today, I want to focus in though on women of color, meaning Black women, African American women, okay? From the entire diaspora, okay? So, and I'll tell you why that is. It is because the Job Liberation Summit for Black Women 2025. It's a virtual summit. I will be a part of it this year. This is their second year doing a virtual summit specifically for Black women, not just all shades of brown, okay? So even though I serve that population of people, we are focused for this summit for Black women. I want to be clear. I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comments below, as well as in the description box, so you can click on that, whether you are a Black woman or not. But if you know someone who fits the description and wants to get out of corporate America, that link will take you to the information page so you can learn more about it. And also, I'm going to be a speaker there. Okay, so if you want to join, it's virtual 100%, and so you can be from anywhere in the world and still join. Okay, so I'll make sure I mention that once more towards the end. But for those of you who cannot watch this live entirely, I wanted to make sure I got that announcement out at the forefront of this conversation. All right, now let's go ahead and get into it. So, all right, let me just pull up my notes here and make sure that we have my notifications off and that we are all in sync here so we can get you in and out of here. We're talking about financial independence. Like I said, the Budgetnista's book called Get Good with Money. Go cop that on Amazon. I'm sure she's got it for a great price, and get your copy today. Seriously, it will change your life. So first, I want you, if you are ready to leave your 9-to-5 and give your boss the walking papers and actually fire corporate America so you can hire yourself, we're going to walk through the steps and map out exactly what you need to do to become financially stable and independent and feel secure before you actually make the move to leave. Okay, you want to leave on your terms, not wait for you to get handed your walking papers by corporate America. You don't need permission from anybody to leave your job, but you do want to make sure you do this, obviously, in a very orderly fashion, okay? One of the things that I know that women that I work with, in particularly, especially Black women, women in general, I feel, oftentimes you're really afraid to make the leap. And one of your biggest concerns is, well, how am I going to make money? Well, let me just tell you, I have helped a lot of women, trust and believe, myself included, to make a seamless transition from their traditional corporate 9-to-5 job and replace their high salary in their jobs, okay? Replace that in business. So if you want to make a six-figure salary in business, replacing your job income, if you're making 6 figures or beyond right now, okay, in your job, then these are some of the steps you're going to have to take, okay? Now, the first thing I want you to do is define what financial independence looks like for you, because it looks different for everybody, okay? Completely different for everybody. What is your definition of financial independence? What does success look like for you, okay? Especially, what does it mean, and why is it crucial for that to mean something for you as a woman of color, okay? The first thing is financial independence. Financial independence. Now, let me just tell y'all right now, quick sidebar, okay? I got on all this yellow. I'm bright out here in these spring streets, okay? And the bees are looking at me like, you look like a pretty flower. So if a bee comes in here, now y'all know, if you've been following me and rocking with me for a minute, I don't do bees, I don't do birds, I don't do pets, okay? Therefore, I'm not a pet person. I like the little cute dogs sometimes, but they got to stay their distance too. If a bee come in here, it's on, okay? Y'all gonna see me act the whole entire fool. I'm just giving you a forewarning, that's all. Okay, back to what we're talking about. Financial independence means having enough money to cover your living expenses without relying on a traditional job, okay? So as a woman of color, the reason why that's important is because you want something that's going to offer stability, security, financial independence, and obviously work your way towards financial freedom, right? Sometimes in the workplace, though, we don't get the same opportunities. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil, honey, okay? We gonna rebuke that spirit for anybody who says differently, because we are walking this path all day, every day, just based on the color of our skin. And so I have no problem speaking about this out loud, because the truth is the truth is the truth, okay? So if this offends you in any way, and if this is not something you can agree with or believe in, then you can keep it moving, okay? Because this is what it is. We know that as a Black woman, as a woman of color, this is what we deal with day in and day out. Right now, particularly under the circumstances with the political climate being what it is currently, and the DEI rollbacks, okay, which by the way doesn't just affect people of color. It affects a lot of people, okay? In fact, we're probably about sixth on that list of the people it affects. You know who actually gets the benefit most? White women. But for some reason, there's a misconception around DEI. Huge misconceptions. But the reality is there are a lot of people who benefit from that. Okay, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the A at the end that people forget, for access. That means people who are veterans, okay, who were in military, in active duty in the military, those LGBTQ plus community, people of color, white women. Like I said, they're the top tiered beneficiaries, okay, or benefactors, whatever you want to consider it. Meaning they benefit from it the most. There are all kinds of people, okay? People who are mentally challenged, or I'm trying to think of the politically correct term now. We switched from saying handicap to another term that I can't think of right now, so my apologies on that. But listen, you guys know what I'm referring to, right? And so a lot of people are impacted by this. The DEI rollbacks are affecting a lot of people, federal workers, okay? So a lot of people are getting the benefit of the DEI policies that are in place by a lot of the corporates or corporations or organizations. However, they are also finding out right now that with what the Republicans are doing, which, you know, right now with the Trump administration being what they are, doing what they're doing and keeping their promises, one of the first things they did was roll back the DEI policies with these corporations. And so it is affecting a lot of people in a negative way. Why is that important to? Thank you so much, Stay Fleets. That yellow looks marvelous on you today. I appreciate the compliments, and hello to each and every one of you who's tuning in right now. Thank you. I appreciate you joining. So why that's important to know, again, for Black women, is that we're not always we're not always as valued. I'll use that word. We're not always as valued in the workplace, right? Especially as it pertains to equality and inclusion and equity, for sure, right? So we don't get the same equal growth opportunities, period, point blank. There are sometimes no advancement opportunities for us in particular, okay? Our non-melanated counterparts, even if they are not people who are highly qualified or even qualified at all, they would oftentimes get positions over us, okay? And this is not this is not a blame game. This is not, taking on a victim role. I don't play that here. I'm just telling facts, okay? It's 100% true. And so what you're going to get from me always is a dose of the truth. And this is a heavy dose of the truth for some people who might not be able to handle it. And that's okay. Because if this doesn't apply to you, then I'm not talking to you. But those of you who are with me and understand that to be true, then you get where I'm coming from, okay? So, secondly, achieving financial independence can mean the ability to support your family. But you want to be able to support your family without stress, right? You want to be able to support your family and also contribute to breaking cycles of generational struggle and poverty. And how, these inequalities that we experience, they really and truly do disproportionately affect us as a Black people, period, okay? And so, in just communities of color, all shades of brown. So we want to that's why it's another reason why it's so critically important that we do what we can to have other revenue streams coming through, because as is true for anybody, if you put all your eggs in one basket, then if that job lets you go at any time for any reason, they're shutting their doors, they have a reduction in force, they're laying people off, they're having mass layoffs everywhere across the nation and across all kinds of industries, by the way. I'm sure you've heard that already, and I talk about that on my channel as well. But there's a lot going on right now with the economy, right? And a lot of people are being affected. So if you're already, coming from a background that is disproportionately affected, right, in a negative way, obviously, then you really got to step up your game and make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. We need to learn how to diversify. That means we need to learn how to make the money, okay? Get good with money, manage our money, and multiply the money. You understand what I'm saying? And I talk a lot about that here, and the Budgetnista speaks a lot about that as well, and definitely how to budget, which we're going to get into here shortly. So, the third thing I want to mention is that it empowers you to invest back into your community. We want to invest back into our communities. Why? Because we've got to support other businesses of color. Okay, other Black businesses, small business owners, minority owned businesses, women in particular, and women of color, as well as the LGBTQ plus community, who are predominantly, women owned, right? And create generational wealth that changes the trajectory of not only our lives, but obviously that of our bloodlines, right? So we want to be able to create something that we can enjoy while we're here, right? Our legacy is not just for us to leave behind for those we love, it's for us to enjoy it today and beyond until we die. And when that day comes, we have something that we can leave for our family. And guess what? We don't want to leave them with a bunch of problems that they inherited because we didn't have our ish together. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we have it all the way together so that they can benefit from it too. Okay? So that's really what creating generational wealth looks like. And that changes the name of the game for our financial independence and the whole landscape of the financial landscape for future generations. And so the next thing I wanted to point out to you is that we have to start making money today. So here's what's important. I said I'm going to mention budgeting. This is probably a great time to inject this conversation. We want to make sure we are budgeting our money, investing our money, and saving our money. All right. So, for example, creating a zero-based budget where every dollar is assigned a job. What does that mean? That means you've got to, I'm going to say it 100 times on this video, get good with money, okay? In order to get good with money, you got to know what your money's doing, what you're working with. How much are you bringing in net? And how much is also going out? So when you create a budget, that budget should tell you where your money is going, or first of all, what money you got coming in, right? What's your income? I'm not talking about the gross before taxes. I'm talking about what are you making after all the taxes, after they take out SSI, after they take out all your Medicare, after they take out, whatever you paying in for disability, after you take all the medical benefits and dental and vision benefits that you may be having taken out, all of the taxes for state and federal. After all of that, what are you actually bringing home? Okay? Once you decide what you're bringing home, how much of that is going towards your living expenses? What is going out as far as for you to maintain your livelihood? What are you paying in rent or mortgage? If you're paying rent, we already know that can fluctuate. That goes up and down just depending on what the economy is doing and what the market is demanding, right? And so based on those factors, the leasing management department or the leasing department, wherever it is you're leasing an apartment at, can very easily increase the price, right? And so are you prepared for that fluctuation? Inflation is a real thing, right? So we have to be prepared for that. If you're paying a mortgage, what is that? What are you paying for your medical expenses? What are you paying for your dental and vision if you're not paying that within a job? Because some jobs don't actually supply that, right? They don't provide that to you depending on where it is you work. So that might be an out-of-pocket expense for you. Where is your money going as it relates to your bills, right? You got to have gas and, pay for gas and electric. You got to pay your water bill. You got to pay for sewage and trash, right? You got to pay for these things. You got to pay for food. You got to pay for gas or fuel in your car to get to and from work. Even if you don't work, if you work from home, you still pay to get to and from somewhere in your vehicle, right? Or if you're taking public transportation, what are these things costing you? And if you're starting a business or growing a business, where are those expenses going? What is that about? We've got to know what money we are bringing in and what money we are sending out, okay? If we don't know that, and I know a lot of people are scared to look at their money, especially women, for some reason, but we got to get aggressive with that, right? We've got to stand firm on knowing where our dollar bills are going. Okay, once you're clear on that, how much of that are you using or investing? Okay, how much of that are you saving? How much of that are you actually keeping for, leisure activities? Like what is considered a discretionary spending, right? What's disposable income for you? What does that look like? So we need to write these things down on a spreadsheet so that we understand exactly where our money is going, okay? Every single month, every week, I do my financials. Every week without fail. I have spreadsheets galore, okay? And my accountant gets some of those. I reviewed some of this information when it comes to my personal expenses I review on my own, but my business expenses I also review on my own every week and monthly, okay? And then quarterly I review with my accountant so I won't get into too deep with that, but if you want to know more, I can help you determine why that's, a thing you need to do, or if you want me to do a follow-up video, I'm happy to do that. But for the sake of time, I'm not going in too deep about that piece of it. But I'm just saying you need to know where your money is going, okay? How much are you splurging? What are you spending on travel? What are you spending on just going out to eat? Or how much are you spending on food that you bring in the home that you for and cook? Like, how much door dashing are you doing, or Uber Eats? You need to know these things, okay? Then next, you want to automate your savings. Now, in this book right here, as I said earlier, I'm just pointing out some of the great things. Now, I need to get with Budgetnista, honey, because I might need to, I need to become a brand ambassador for you, girl, because look, I am like trying to sell her book for her, okay? Although I'm sure it's flying off the shelves anyway. This is a great book, and she tells you specifically about how to automate your savings and also how to invest some of that money. When you automate your savings, though, and you can build an emergency fund and cash cushion a lot faster than you could if you were to just depend on yourself to do it. So you want to treat the money that is going out into a savings and the money that you're investing as if it's a part of a bill, okay? Like once the money is gone, for example, once you pay rent or once you pay mortgage or once you pay a bill, that money's gone, right? There ain't nothing you could do about it to get that money back. It's gone. You can't go ask for it back and say, you know what, I overspent on eating out, so can I get some of that mortgage money back? You know what I'm saying? Or can I get some of that money back because I ate out one too many times? Do you mind if, if you go to a restaurant, you can't get no money back? It is what it is. You done spent the money. So this way, you want to treat yourself like a bill. You want to invest in you and save that cash cushion and emergency savings fund just like it's a bill. You want to take out a portion or a percentage of your money that you earn every 2 weeks or monthly, however often you get paid, from all of the resources and all of the money that you're generating every single month. A portion of that should be going towards investment and savings automatically so that you don't even think twice about it. It just goes. You don't even miss it. It just becomes a part of the routine. Understand what I'm saying? Okay. Make sure you're covering, by the way, at least 3 to 6 months. And I would dare say, having done this before myself and taught quite a few women how to transition seamlessly, if you can save 6 to 12 months of savings, okay, in investment, all the better for you. That's really ideal. But at least at the bare minimum, 3 to 6 months. Just because as you are building your business and your brand, things might not go according to plan. You never really know how it might pan out, right? What you anticipate to happen and in the time frame that you decide is going to happen for you, it might not work out that way. And for that reason, you've got to plan accordingly. You just want to be 5 to 10 steps ahead of the game, okay? Life be life in. There's ebbs and flows, twists and turns, ups and downs. We don't know how it's going to play out. We know what we plan. We know what we're doing, but life is funny that way, right? So to prepare for unforeseen circumstances, make sure you're automating, right, and putting in for a rainy day for at least 3 to 6 months minimum, okay? And providing that cushion for yourself so it feels safer and so you feel more secure to actually leave that 9-to-5 job. You got me? Okay? And you also want to have enough to start investing in that business. That's part of the reason why you're probably not doing much with the business now, if that's the case, or you're running out of funds, and so you kind of are in this stop start kind of stuck stagnant cycle, right? In order to get out of that, we want to make sure we're saving but also investing back into the business. Now, you got to get to a point, let me just be honest, where you're not using your own money. You want to use other people's money. Okay, we can talk about that in a whole nother video. In fact, I have a video talking about grants, using grant as part of your income stream strategy. So getting business funding, grants are a way for you to get free money, basically, because it's money that you get, that you can use towards marketing expenses, operating costs, and hiring and what have you. Any aspect of your business, and you don't have to pay it back, so you'll always be debt free. Okay, so that's the way to go. If you want more information on that, check out my video I did. You can just do a search on grants, business funding, and you can find my conversations on that. But if you'd like a follow-up on that and have specific questions from that video, just leave some comments in that video specifically when you watch it. And if you need more information, have clarifying questions, let me know. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to say is begin investing. I talked about this already, but begin investing a small amount. Listen, you don't have to take your whole entire paycheck to make any kind of progress in investing. You just got to start. And I say start small. You know where is the best place to invest? And I don't even like using the word best, but what's best for you is what's best. Here's the thing. I always say start investing in the products and services you're already using anyway. For example, if you are someone who wears a particular brand, or you always shop at a particular place, or you always go to a particular restaurant to eat, or you always buy, a drink, or, you go to Starbucks, or for example, a lot, or you shop at Target or Walmart. These are the first places, companies that you should have stock in, meaning you are part owner. See, you got to get out of that whole employee mentality into the space of entrepreneurship. And by entrepreneurship, I mean, we're talking about business ownership, right? So when you are in the headspace of, in the mindset of understanding what ownership brings to you and the options you have and the freedom that brings for you, you will then understand how important it is to invest in yourself as a person first, right? As the woman that you are, as the business owner that you are, and that includes stocks, okay? That includes real estate, and that includes your own business. Ownership, okay? If you don't own, main ways that people get wealthy. So, E-Trade is a really great tool to use if you're pretty savvy and you can do this on your own and you don't want to really pay a broker or work with a broker. But if you do and you don't mind, another place I would highly recommend that I've used for years, aside from E-Trade, I've used E-Trade as well, is Vanguard, okay? But do your research, do your homework, make sure it's something that works for you. Another tool is that I'd like to recommend is robo-advisors or index funds. Okay, those are ways, very low maintenance index funds that you can use low maintenance to get started in order for you to just, again, start small so that you don't feel overwhelmed with the process. Because I know starting an investment might feel like a daunting process, right? In the beginning, especially, it might be a steep learning curve. So do your research, get with somebody, a financial investor or somebody who can kind of walk you through the process and teach you how to do it yourself, or go ahead and invest in somebody who's going to do it for you or with you, okay? So that you can learn the process. So hopefully you didn't miss out on too much. If you did, you can go back and watch the replay. I'm keeping these live streams right at about 30 minutes or less if I can, between the 15 and 20 minute mark. So we're now right at about that 30-minute mark because I had to take a moment to cool down my phone because it was really hot. But we're back, and I want to make sure that you again know about the Job Liberation Virtual Summit 2025 that I will be speaking at this year. It is specifically for Black women, okay? So if you are a Black woman or know a Black woman who's ready to leave their 9 to 5, the traditional corporate 9 to 5 job, and get out of a toxic job or heal from a toxic job that they've already left, or what have you. Anything along the lines of that, a hostile work environment, or just a job that no longer serves them, make sure that they click that you send them the link that I'm going to leave pinned in the comments and also in the description box, so that they or you can come to this year's virtual summit. That link will take you to the information page, the landing page, so you can opt in, you can purchase your tickets. They are on sale today, okay? And I will have to update you as far as how long they'll be on sale, but make sure you don't miss out this year. Get your copy or get your tickets today and invite a friend, a biz bestie, an associate, an acquaintance, a colleague. Listen, somebody, anybody, everybody who can benefit from this, make sure you get them in the virtual room. It doesn't matter where you live. You can be from anywhere, but you do have to be a woman of color, okay? A black woman in particularly, okay? That's what this event is about. So, anyhow, I hope this has been helpful. Let me go ahead and put this here for a minute so I don't have it all wobbly trying to hold it. Let me make sure those are the only announcements I have. I got my notes here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I'm going to be posting in the community more often, by the way. I started off strong this year, and then that just kind of got by the wayside. But I'm definitely going to do that. So for more updated information, you definitely want to keep tabs with me there, okay, in the community tab. No pun intended. But here's the thing I want you to know. I want to remind you, excuse me, that this is the last week that I'll be doing this, well, this week and then Monday, because I'm going through the end of the month. So Monday's the last day of the month, Monday the 31st. And I need you to know that this will be the last week I'm doing a live stream show for now. Now, I'm going to announce on Monday what's next. What I'm considering doing, I haven't completely decided, okay, because I got so many things going on right now, personal-wise, business-wise, simultaneously, right? All of these projects going on that's going to require a lot of my time, attention, and energy that I need to be focused on. And I just don't know that I'm going to necessarily have the time, or even if it's worth it for me to continue doing these live streams. Now, I know a lot of you are benefiting from this information. I don't know how much of you are really doing the work, right? And that's up to you to decide, right? But I also don't want to be on here to give away a lot of free information that you're not going to do anything with. I'm just going to be straight up, okay? So unless I get a really good feedback and some, and I have had people say, thank you for the information, I appreciate it, this is helpful, and all of that, and that's good. But if it's not a large enough percentage of people who's really getting the value that I need you to get, or more importantly, taking that value and actually applying that newfound knowledge to any aspect of your life and business, as is what we're talking about here, then what is the point of me continuing to show up live? The other thing is, most people are watching my live streams on the replay. And I understand, for different reasons, I get it. Some people don't want to be on the live. They don't want you to know they're here. They kind of just want to sit back quiet in the cut and just watch you after the fact. That's cool. And, you don't want to be called out. Other people feel like, they're genuinely getting information and they show up live. And then some people, it's just that they can't stay the entire live, or they might just be perusing through. They happen to catch me and they're like, I'll catch her on the replay. Whatever the reason is, okay, any or all of the above or none of the above, okay, it could be something else entirely. Whatever the reasons are, a lot of people catch me on the replay. And for that reason, if you can just catch me on the replay, then I might as well just continue to do my usual scheduled content, because I post 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays anyway, and do pre-recorded videos that you can just watch whenever it's convenient for you. And that's really more convenient for me. So I'm still considering, I don't know yet. I've had some people ask me in the community, they inquired about the resuscitation room. That's a live stream show I did last year. And if I do decide to bring that back, there will have to be a lot more interest around that. And I would probably incorporate the daily dose in that series, because I would only be going live once a week as opposed to daily. Okay, daily is just too much for me right now, because I just have other things going on that requires, again, more of my time and attention and energy than doing a live stream that isn't really benefiting me as much as it's really benefiting you, but it's not benefiting you if you're not really doing a whole lot with the information I'm providing. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from. So with that being said, then I will make the announcement on Monday, and so tune in on Monday, next Monday the 31st. Now I'll still be doing these this week, just to be clear, okay, for the rest of this week, and again on Monday will be my final day. I'll be wrapping it up. I'll be reviewing some things with you, announcing what's next, and giving you, reminders all throughout the week about, what resources are available to you and whatever new news comes up, okay? Aside from that, you'll have to just catch me with my usual content. You'll need to keep up with what's going on in the community tab. And I'll make some new announcements on Monday as well, as far as what I'm considering doing for those who are seriously interested. Because here's the thing, I'm really about action takers and fast decision makers. And I want to work with people who really are wanting to level up in their life, especially this year and beyond, okay? And so I don't want to just be talking to just random people who really aren't my ideal clients, you know what I mean? And who never has any intention on working with me. They're just looking for, they're freebie seekers. They're just looking for information or the next best live stream or looking for entertainment. Look, I can be a little entertaining from time to time, but I'm not here for that. Really, I'm here to change your life, to transform your entire life and your business, okay? To resuscitate your dreams. That is what I'm here to do. So I'm not coming to play games here. So I am saying all that to say, just to be solid on what my plans are going forward. I want to make sure that I am here for the people who really want to be served in a way that, in order for you to really be engaged with me and me to be in tune with what your needs are and meet you where you are in the journey, I want to offer you something specifically. And that's what I'm going to be talking about come next week. Okay, so I'm going to work through some of the details of that, what that could potentially look like this week, and then I will announce it next Monday. So just to give you a heads up, I hope this has been helpful for you. We're a little bit over. As I said, I had to cool down my phone, but that's my time. I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends, okay? As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.